I stumbled backward, tripping over the edge of my rug as I scrambled for my phone. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped it. "There's someone outside my house!" I yelled into the receiver. The operator tried to calm me down, said officers were on their way, but every second felt like an hour. I kept my eyes locked on the window the whole time. The man didn't move, just kept pressing his face against the glass, that awful grin frozen in place. Then, as the wail of distant sirens finally reached my ears, he turned and vanished into the dark. The police took forever to arrive. By then, the rain had stopped completely. The air was heavy and still, the kind of silence that feels wrong after a storm. They swept the yard, checked the fence, even looked around the trees. Nothing. Just muddy footprints leading up to my window, prints that seemed to fade and disappear halfway back toward the woods. They told me it was probably a prank, maybe someone passing through. I nodded and pretended to believe them. When they left, the house felt emptier than ever. I lay back down, staring at the ceiling, trying to convince myself it was over. For a while, it was quiet. Then came the sound again, the baby's cry, closer. I sat up, furious and terrified all at once. "Enough!" I muttered, flipping on the light. That's when I saw them, muddy footprints, fresh, leading across my carpet, right up to the closet door. The crying was louder now, coming from inside. I stood there, staring at the closet, my breath shallow, the sound of that awful crying still leaking out from behind the door. My hand tightened around the bat as I took slow, cautious steps forward, the floorboards creaking under my feet. When I finally reached the handle, I hesitated, just long enough to hate myself for it, then yanked the door open. The crying stopped. Inside, on the closet floor, lay something small and wet. I squinted, leaning closer. It wasn't a baby. It wasn't even human. It was a tiny, half-formed bird. Pink skin stretched thin, its wings barely developed, trembling slightly as if still alive. A baby bird fetus. I stumbled back, disgusted and confused. "What the hell?" I whispered, my voice cracking. The smell hit me next, something sour and metallic, and I covered my mouth, trying not to gag. Then a sound from behind me made my blood run cold. Thud. I whipped my head around. My bed had moved, bouncing once, hard enough to rattle the frame. Another thud. Then the blanket began to shift, as if something underneath was crawling, pushing its way up. The fabric stretched and lifted, slowly spreading over a single human-sized lump right in the center. Follow for part 3.